Hello and welcome. My name is Reese and this is the second video in a series covering Primal Conquest Dino Era. In this video I'm going to be discussing the first thing that all new players have to do, and that is starting to build your territory, as well as just a few things that I wish I'd known myself early on. Firstly, I'll be discussing the building actions. And these are very simply the initial construction of the building, upgrading a building, and demolishing a building. Most buildings can be upgraded and demolished, but these mainly include the resource buildings. To demolish a building, you see this icon here. By tapping this, it will bring up this menu. You can use gems to demolish immediately, or you can do it manually, and it will take half the building time. So, regarding building allocation, there are more buildings available than the number of plots available in your territory. This means essentially is one of these building types is going to be a remainder, it will not be built. So what this means essentially is you have to choose. This allows us to do is we can essentially mix up our resource farms as and when we need to. What is recommended is to max out your farms, iron mine and gold mines, and then have a reduced number of lumber yards. And this is purely because it is agreed that wood is easier to come by, as in it's often given away in events or as rewards quite generously. So many players find that they have plenty of wood, and it's the other three resource types that are the problem. You can also change the location of the excessive buildings, whereas, as discussed previously, the initial buildings cannot be moved. So as you can see here, I've got my training camps, my gold mines and iron mines all grouped together. I'd recommend doing the same, but as they are all collected simultaneously, it doesn't actually matter where you place them, but purely just for, you know, it's easier to look at in my opinion. That's why I've done it this way. So next up we have upgrading buildings. I've already really discussed this, but so every building in the game, pretty much other than the sort of like the systematic ones like Temple and Hidden Cave and the event ones, they can all be upgraded, and all upgrades require time and resources. So just to show you again, so these are the required materials, this is the upgraded effect from the upgrade, and these are requirements and the time required for the construction. All upgrades cost these 4 materials, so we have food, wood, metal and gold. You can use gems to speed up the process or use them to immediately obtain resources. So you can do that by going into the upgrade menu or into the crystal shop. This is a quick way of doing it, but if you wanted to browse, you could go into the bag, and it says crystal shop right here. So you can see you can buy resources using crystals, but you can also upgrade a building immediately using crystals. Very rarely is an instant upgrade more affordable than buying the resources, but again, it's very different early on game to late game, so that would, you know, it can be worth calculating it out sometimes. Building requirements. This one is a little bit more complex, and it will take some getting used to, but essentially some buildings are linked and you will have to essentially upgrade them simultaneously. So some examples that come to mind are the archer camp. This scales with your medical tents, so you will have to upgrade your medical tents alongside your archer camp. For the rider camp, it's the vault cave. For the warrior camp, it's the training camps. Another good example is the blacksmith. So there are a lot of tiers within this building. As you can see here at the top, we have different levels within the buildings. So those are level tiers, and these are equipment slots. And then you also have gem blessing with it. It's quite complex. That's why I say it will take a little bit of, you know, having a look through, and probably once you've upgraded things a few times each, you'll kind of get the hang of how sort of like the hierarchy works. Boosting resources. This is one that I think can be overlooked quite easily, but it is very easily worth it. I've actually made an error here. I thought it was 50%, but through looking it's actually 100%, which is crazy. So these are the actual speed boost items. These items are obtainable through events or through challenges, and you can also purchase them in your Alliance store. They're fairly affordable as well. You can activate these by tapping on any of the resource buildings. You'll see two buttons at the bottom. This button will use a speed boost if you have one in your bag. Don't have one, you can use crystals, which is fairly affordable, but I found that it's mostly best to use crystals on the food farms. A level 17 farm costs 34 gems to boost it for 24 hours, whereas a level 17 gold mine is 68 gems, which, you know, still isn't too much, but it does quickly rack up, and especially when you're talking, you know, high level buildings. So it can definitely be worthwhile buying the speed boost from your Alliance store. To do that, you just go here, go to the shop section, resource tab, and then here they are. And then I can use that like so. This is definitely something I would recommend doing, maybe not early on because you won't have high level buildings, but once you get to probably like level 25 plus, I would highly recommend boosting your resource slots. Maybe not every single one, because of course that will use a lot of your currency very quickly, but when you've got like big build projects on the way, or say perhaps you're really close to an upgrade, it's definitely worth considering just boosting a few of them. And finally, the free-to-play and pay-to-win considerations. One thing that they do well in this game is make it very incentivized to spend money. A great example of this is the building and research gear. If you are going to be going down this route, it's definitely worth doing it early on. One thing I will mention as well is, say for example, you had purchased this, the T3 builder equipment. but you hadn't purchased a T4 yet, you might find that the game puts this item on sale for you, just just to further incentivize it, which if you are going to buy it, then oh wow, she's killing it. You may as well save a little bit of money, I think on my main that's what I did. So I basically just waited until I saw all the equipment and stuff on sale, and only bought it when it was on sale. Secondly, this is one that I think a lot of people, they just jump on it, but you really don't actually need to. So you can get the extra queue, the building queue that is, for $4.99, and that's permanent. Or you can just spend 250 gems and get it for 2 days. And I know for a fact that you can get more than 250 gems a day for free. One, I really didn't understand why people bought it. Like, I do, and like myself, I purchased it on my main, but it took me a long time to buy it because it just didn't make sense when I could just spend this amount of crystals, which you get this is pocket change when it comes to crystals. Look, I don't have many at this point in time, but they're fairly generous with giving them away. There's 500 there, then there's another 1500 there, so there's 2000 there. And if I do this, that's another 50, another 200, so there's 250 right there. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, definitely do that early on if you are going to do that, just so that you can really utilize the benefits. As honestly, if you buy the builder gear or the research gear early on, you'll find that a lot of the upgrades literally cost nothing. It's pretty good. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap this up there. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. If you found this video helpful, that's really good. I'm glad to hear it, and I hope you'll stick around and watch some more of my other videos. Thank you so much.